Hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream here with me, Jennifer Kirk. And if I sound a bit slower than usual, then that's because I'm absolutely worn out. But you already know that I've been in hospital for a few days. Had a pretty rough week last week. So basically, this is the first live stream for a couple of weeks now. So just bear with me. We're going to try and get back up to speed. Today's topic that we will mention at the beginning and then studiously probably ignore forevermore is it ever right to criticise someone else's modelling? And I just thought I'd put this out there because it's something that a lot of people do post critical comments about my work, and I've seen on internet fora as well a lot of people getting flamed just for posting up pictures of work that they've been doing, which
it's not right. It really isn't right.
No, it isn't. Oh, by the way, this is Zoe. If
Hello.
You haven't already recognised.
I'm here to make sure that she's okay.
She is, yes, and because I'm on very strong medication for the illness that I'm battling. I'm on completely alcohol-free. It's just Diet Coke. But yeah, so. Thank you all for all your well wishes on the comments to the videos that have been going up. I do sort of scan through, but I haven't really had a lot of energy to do an awful lot of anything at all. I have started work up in the loft doing a few bits and pieces, and there will be a Friday video for that, but it's just such a struggle at the moment. So let's have a look. Who's in the chat room? We've got BR Black Terrier Productions, hi to you. We've also got the Growler Blackwood, Engage Layout, hi to you. And Gonk Droid 229, nice to see you're back too. Piccadilly Model Railway by John Warner. Hi Jenny, how are you feeling? Well, as I said before, still incredibly tired, run down. I feel like I've been beaten up from the inside out, if that makes sense to you. I'm nowhere near as bad as I've been in the last week or so, but certainly just sort of slowly building back up to speed. I'm off work at the moment because I'm sleeping a lot, and I'm on very strong medication as well. Can't really drive because basically my perception skills are a bit down at the moment with the illness.
It's true, it really is. I've been able to do weird things behind her head all day, and she hasn't even noticed.
I've noticed, just really can't be bothered. You know, they say with, I mean, it turned out it wasn't flu, but they do say with flu that the way you know it's real flu and not just man flu or pretendy flu is if somebody put a £50 note on the end of your bed and said, you know what, if you can touch that, it's all yours, you get to keep it, no strings attached, and you lie there, and it's not that you go, well, I'll avoid doing that because I want people to believe I'm ill. No, if you actually you lie there and you really cannot touch that £50 note, then you probably got flu, or in my case you've got severe
enteritis.
Yeah, there's a big word with Latin roots in it somewhere.
Gastro, and then you enter ritis.
Yeah, well, the gastronus did enter me quite badly, and I ended up with
you weren't ritis.
Yeah, with mild blood poisoning as well.
Yeah, but at least we can laugh about it now.
Yeah. So, anywho, HMBY, I think it's meant to be a bit
Hornby Modeler.
Hornby Modeler. Hi to you. The Growler Blackwood Engage Layout, good evening. Yeah, feeling a lot better than I was. Leslie Gilpin. Ayechida Jenny. I'm assuming that there's some kind of autocorrect in the way between you.
Or it's Welsh.
Oh yeah, it could
I
be.
think so.
Yeah, it could be. Stop. My joke was funny. Oh, I can't do that. If I try and move fast, I start to hurt. Piccadilly Model Railway by John Warner says hello to you.
Hello.
Philip Page, hi. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you very much. Train Sporting Southeast, hi to you. Aiden0206, hi to you. James Petts, being beaten up from the inside out. Sounds no fun at all. Yeah, believe
There's
me.
Les.
Les is in as well. Yeah, good to see the old Jenny again.
She's not. Well, actually, no, I can't say that, can I?
40
She is
years
that old.
this year. Yeah, I know you wouldn't know to look at this. This
definitely not.
age-defying. What do they call people?
We didn't even have to use one of those young filters either.
No, we didn't. But what do they call that thing where people who defy aging? What do you call
Vampires.
it? Vampires. Oh, see, I like the blood cooked in the form of black pudding.
Yeah.
Actually,
As a vegetarian, I'm offended by that.
you can get vegetarian nonsense versions.
You can, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, Piccadilly Model Railway by John Warner. I had food poisoning a few years ago. I was knocked out for 2 weeks. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. It really is tough, and
It's just people gone past away.
yeah, I'm just looking over at the you know the drill.
We have the CCTV here, and
They
she
know the
keeps
drill.
getting distracted.
Yeah, that's right. It's like squirrel.
This is why they don't have TVs in radio studios.
No, they do sometimes. Well, we had one in ours.
Not in BBC, they didn't. Actually, no, they did. Now I think about it, they had 7 TVs,
Yeah.
and they're all on mute, and only one of them was shown BBC.
Yeah, you got to see what the opposition's up to. I remember once, many years ago, on commercial radio in the northeast, in the graveyard shift, one of the Grand Prix was coming from probably somewhere like Korea or Japan, and it was shown live at about 2-3 in the morning, which was when we were on. So we got a feed off one of the TVs, and we did live commentary to what was going on the Grand Prix, and used a sound feed off. I think it was I can't remember whether it was BBC or ITV at the time, and we got in so much trouble.
I bet you did.
Yeah. But the Ballast Man, hello to you. There's Cliff. Oh, she's lovely. Les says I'm lovely.
Well, at least someone
Yeah,
does.
why can't you say that?
At least someone does.
Yeah. Lil Goth. Glad to see you up and about, Jenny. Hopefully you're feeling better, and Wifey's doing a good job looking after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up and feeling better. Whether Wifey, now she's when I came out
I'm doing
of
my best.
Can I just say, when I came out of hospital this Wednesday, oh, I'll be at your beck and call if you need anything. I'm there to help you. Then it's like, well, you know, how long did I have to wait for that bottle of water with lime cordial? I'll give you a clue. I'm still waiting for it.
I forgot. You asked me for it and then asked me for something else, and I got you the something else.
No, you didn't.
I did, and I forgot the...
No. And then I asked for pasta bolognese. What do I get? Pasta with, like, vegetable soup infused through it.
Here's your stuff with lime cordial. What are you on about?
They're not together yet. Yeah. Yeah, Les Cliff says, wait till you've been married 40 years. We've only done the 10, but...
Yeah, a quarter of the way there.
Yeah. They say you get less for murder. You don't. I checked. Yeah, Colin Potts, how's the railway going in the loft? Well, as you can imagine, I've been so ill. I've not done an awful lot, though. I did get to work over a few days, and the culverted stream it's now become. It's had several iterations from the Bowes Railway rope-worked incline through disused canal, and now finally it's become a culverted sort of stream, and that came together surprisingly quickly. Once I put my mind to it, all the pieces were kind of there, ready and waiting. So it didn't actually need too much work in the end. Will you take that out of my peripheral vision? That's just really creepy.
You asked for it.
Mm.
Now you have it.
Some of you have been...
Don't say I don't get you now.
Hey, right, look, hey, just...
Hello.
Yeah, just behave yourself now. Remember, we're not at home to cock up. So you just... Actually, we're in her office, but...
Yeah, she's invaded my space while I was working.
Oh, I feel exhausted.
Mm.
So I will warn you now that today's live stream is not likely to be the full usual red hot maximum bottom kicking 2.5 hours that you're used to, because I do tire very easily at the moment, and that's going to be unfortunately the case probably for a week or two more.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on you though.
Yeah, as they'd say, it's like you're not off work for nothing. As much as you might like to, like, yippee, another week off work. No,
the majority of it is actually another week of being bored while laid up. There's only so much TV you can watch.
Yeah, although actually we're getting through Friends again, some Frasier, and The Simpsons we dipped into. And what was the film? We watched the new Shaft film.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen the original though, and I do wonder, has that kind of improved the experience for me? If I was familiar with the original 1971 Isaac Hayes Shaft film, which has proved strangely elusive through my 40 years, I suspect I'd like it a little bit less. But anywho,
the problem I had with it is I predicted what was going to happen at the end. About an hour into the film.
Not even that, to be honest. And I just looked at you and nodded and went, yeah, I see it too. And we were right, because we went and looked up on Wikipedia. But yeah, anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah, so progress in the loft is pretty good, actually. And I've been experimenting with some deluxe materials solid water. Now, a few things I will say about the deluxe materials solid water. It does reward very careful preparation, I'll say that much for it, and it's also very, very good at finding any minute leaks in your river or lake bed, so do be very careful with it. Yes, I had a few little drips, but there are ways and means of sorting that out, and I need to top up the sort of the river area. I'm going to put in an oily wash over the top of the layer that's gone in, which is set to a depth of maybe 0.5 centimetre. And by putting in an oily wash and then putting another pass with the solid water, my thoughts with that are that you can get this greater sense of depth and a feeling that there's like a murkier layer below the top layer. I'm going to experiment a little bit, which is, what you would expect of me. But hopefully all the leaks are plugged up, because the stuff that I tipped in first has now set. So it's set in all the bits it was leaking through and should hopefully stop any further leakage. So, we'll see. But I want to do a video specifically on that product. I think it's actually quite a good product. I know I've kind of raged against... it's probably a little bit of a harsh way of putting it. But I've certainly not had too much favourable to say about a lot of deluxe material products. But the solid water is a product which I quite liked. Now, as I said before, it repays careful preparation. And part of that careful preparation is in sealing up as many leaks as you can and just taking it easy. Now, there are ways, as I found in a mad panic, to kind of plug a few of these leaks. Don't panic if it starts dripping through.
Not like you did. Trying to fill them in with your fingers like a cartoon. No. Every time she pressed on one of them, another one would come out.
No. Zoe, I do not put my fingers in dikes. So there...
You can remember that cartoon as well as I can, can't you? Trying to stop the leaks on something and another one would appear.
End up with all your fingers and all your toes. Although you missed the joke.
I ignored the joke.
Yeah, so I can't back up that comment. But anywho, is it James Potts? If you want to watch PBS Eons is on YouTube. It's splendid. Actually, Bob Ross. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Bob Ross, and this as well. Kind of ties in with a lot of questions people have about doing back scenes on a model railway. You showed me these videos. Bob Ross was he was on PBS in America, probably from 70s through the 80s.
Probably something like that. And he died in 95, and he finished doing PBS a year or two before that.
Yeah, so into the early 90s, and he would. Like these amazing shows you how painting videos, and he would paint them in real time, and he had this lovely, accessible voice, and he was just so friendly in his manner, and he'd talk you through it, and he wasn't patronising, and he would show every way of doing these wonderful landscape pictures. And some of these things are on YouTube.
Yeah.
And what I can say to you is, if you want to paint your own back scene, you could do no worse than go and watch Bob Ross on YouTube, Bob Ross YouTube videos, and take some pointers from what he's doing. Because he does make it look very easy, and I am aware there's obviously a lot of practice behind that.
Yeah, he's a little master.
Yeah, but he shows you how to do it in a way that even somebody who's never really painted could kind of pick up enough that you could have a go at making your own back scene. And I think, you could do no worse than that. I mean, failing that, it's actually quite relaxing just to watch. He has a great presentation style.
It's brilliant.
Manthony 1956, greetings from central Kentucky. Would love to hear your F1 race commentary. Formula One meshes with Mystery Science Theatre 2000. What a concept.
Jen's way of commenting on Formula One these days is basically to go like this, and I'll do an impression of her. Come on. Oh, there they go! And then she starts running along with the cars.
Yeah.
While sat down watching the thing. I am not joking. It's hilarious. Yeah. She's there running. Go on. Oh! And then the moment they have a crash, it's like, yes! See, it would be a very strange and quite humorous live stream if we did that.
See, I just remember, early morning radio up in the northeast, myself and King Strato, and it's like, so Strato, would you care to tell us how is the race doing, coming straight from Suzuka, the Suzuka track? How are they doing? And it's like, we go live over to Suzuka just in time to hear ITV go to the ad break. And that was basically how our commentary worked. We were not very good at it. We tried to take something out of the book of Murray Walker, and all we managed to take was that we were able to go, and there is nothing that will stop him from winning. Oh, he's crashed. Let's have a look. Train Sporting Southeast. Jenny, on RM Web, I have seen rumours of Great Model Railway Challenge winners and layout pictures reported and taken down. Now,
Someone shouldn't be putting that stuff up.
I'm interested where these pictures have come from, because, quite frankly, I think everybody who took part in Great Model Railway Challenge, I would hope, understood that you're doing that on the TV company's dime. And, you get to play with a lot of great materials and do a lot of stuff that, would be very expensive and prohibitive on space and time to do at home. And in return for that, you've got to play their game. You can't blow the ending. So I'm sorry to hear that some idiot has been trying to blow the outcome. I don't know what they expect to gain from that, but I can't condone that. And I would hope that there's been some kind of sanction against them from Andy York and those that run RM Web, and in turn, if they were people who were involved with the series, then I can only hope that that has been reported back to the production company, Knickerbocker Glory TV, because that's well out of order. You can't do that. If you're involved in any kind of a production, you have to respect the fact that it's not there just to massage your ego. It's there to create a TV program that people want to watch because they want to see what happens. And if you go and post the pictures on the internet, you're the equivalent of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson comes out. They've been watching Empire Strikes Back, and as he passes the queue of people queuing to get in to see it, he goes, "Wow, you'd have never thought that Darth Vader was actually Luke Skywalker's father." It's
spoilers. Come on.
But you know what I mean? It's that kind of sad loserness, and I can't condone that. It's just not on so many levels. So, I never see these things when they crop up on RM Web, but I would hope that it's none of the people who were involved in the final. I am aware that there were obviously a number of teams in the final, and I'm aware that there's I think it was 6 people on each team. Plus they had an audience for filming. Plus, there's also all the film company, but I wouldn't have thought any of the film company would leak photos. I'm disappointed. So I'm not going to talk about what people may or may not have seen in those pictures. If you have seen them, play along. Just keep what you've seen to yourself.
Yeah.
And just wait for the programme to come out. Come on, we're bigger than that. Right, let's have a look. Morty UK. Hi, Jenny. Glad to see you looking better. Hi, Zoe. Hope Jenny been behaving.
Well, to an extent.
I'll be honest.
I'm cutting her a lot of slack.
Well, the illness got so bad that I actually started hallucinating.
Yeah.
Which was about the time that I ended up going into hospital. But I had been hallucinating, on Monday. I hallucinated quite a lot. And I can't even begin to describe the hallucinations. I remember hallucinating. And I actually remember at the time knowing that I was hallucinating. But it was very peculiar because I was hallucinating things which I knew couldn't exist, but they seemed very real. But they were kind of prefixed by this knowledge that they could not be real. And maybe it's my analytic scientific mind in there that was telling me that. But it didn't make them any less real. And actually it's very disconcerting when you know you're hallucinating.
Yeah. The brain can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. That's why dreams and nightmares can be so effective. But yeah, that's a bit of an oddity. So what are we looking at here in the chat?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I'll let you know if you let me read it.
Well, you just started looking forward and gone silent, so I had to say
something.
I
was waiting for you to finish talking.
Of course.
Yes, I was. Right, anyway.
Of course you were.
Meanwhile, back on the ranch.
Thousands wouldn't.
Colin Potts, what do you think about N-Gage? I've only got a small room. I think modern N-Gage is actually truly marvellous. It's one of those things that, had N-Gage been available of the quality that we're seeing now, back when I got back into railway modelling in sort of 2000, sort of tail end of 2000, beginning of 2001, then I think that I would have been sorely tempted to go N-Gage. You can fit an awful lot into quite a small space. So with what's available now, I highly recommend N-Gage for anybody who's not coming back to the hobby with stuff. If you've already got plenty of O gauge or double O gauge and you're happy with that, then I wouldn't recommend changing scales. But certainly if you're coming to it new and space is an issue, then I can wholeheartedly recommend N-Gage. But with the caveat that you do need very good eyesight, not least just to put the trains on the track. And I've actually found, now that I'm 40 years old, and I've got the old middle-age eyesight, that it's getting much tougher for me to see the detail and what I'm working on, even in double O. And I can see the logic of moving up to a bigger scale as you get older. So I would never go to N-Gage now. But, I really do see how amazing it is. And I can see just how useful it is if you're space-starved. Train Sporting Southeast. And also, I have decided to call non-autistic people muggles. Yeah, I see where you're coming from there, actually. I am aware of what a muggle is, even though I don't do Harry Potter.
She has seen some of the Harry Potters, but not many.
Yeah. Leslie Gilpin. I did that after seeing Titanic in Hawaii. You'd never believe how many didn't realise it sank. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What?
They didn't know that time. Oh my goodness.
See, some people don't know a lot about history, unfortunately. And, is that a deficiency of schools?
Yes.
Or is it also a deficiency that people don't get this interest in history? Now, I have to say, I never learnt about Titanic disaster in school. It's not something that was ever taught in school, but I learnt about the Titanic disaster by reading books.
Cultural osmosis should do it.
Yeah. because I just loved reading, and so I found out about it through natural curiosity. Right, Ben Davis. Hi, Jenny. I went to train fair last week and got an M7. I was with the Hornby M7 in BR later livery for £45, down to 40. Works great. Backman Class 3 in BR blue with a drive and light of £30, down to 20. That, my friend, is a bargain. Certainly the Class 3, that is a really good price, I have to say. So, yeah, Lil Goth, same Jenny, would have gone N gauge, but now so much OO gauge, it feels very wasteful. Yeah, totally agree with you. I'm quite happy with double O, but I can see the magic in N gauge, which kind of brings us back a little bit to our theme that we've basically mentioned at the beginning and then studiously avoided. When is it ever right to criticise someone else's modelling? And I'd say that straight criticism is never right.
I can think of one situation where straight criticism is right.
Share with me. I fear you have opinions.
If some guy, and it usually is a guy, comes in waving his electronic cock around, like, I am the greatest, I'm the best, look at this, it's amazing, you'll never do as good as me because I am so fantastic, and it turns out that his models are awful, criticise him.
See, I always think that you can always see the good in everybody's modelling. We've got to remember we all started out somewhere. And what to somebody might be like, oh, that's like dyed sawdust and lollipop sticks. Oh, doesn't that look stupid? To another person, that is actually, they're really proud of that. And, there's good in everything that everybody does. And people do develop. And, quite often what you find is that the people who are doing the really basic level modelling are really proud of that, happy to show it off. They're quite often younger people in the hobby, children, teenagers, who are just starting out. And, if you come in all guns blazing, like go, oh no, that's nowhere near as good as Pendon Museum, oh, you should give up now sort of nonsense, then what you're actually doing is you're stamping out the magic of the hobby, the interest and the enjoyment in the hobby for that person. And that's bad and wrong and is never okay. Now, there is such a thing as constructive criticism, which is where effectively you're looking for the good points in what somebody's work. You're saying, well, actually, have you tried X, Y, and Z? And what you're doing is you're providing a feedback and saying, this is good, but have you tried this? And there's ways and means of doing it where you can build people up and actually have them coming away feeling like they've not been patronised, because nobody likes feeling like they're being patronised. And, there's, in railway modelling, like so many things, I do feel that there's no one right way of doing things. There's many different ways and techniques and methods that reach a similar or the same end point. And it doesn't mean that there's one right one and lots of wrong ones. In no way is that the case. And just because you do something in a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that somebody who does it in a completely different way is either super right or super wrong. It just means that you've both got different ways of achieving the effect that you're happy with. And I had this in a project that I was working on a few weeks ago, where I got poo-pooed a little bit. I don't think they meant to, but they were going like, oh, you're not using static grass, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, actually, I don't rate static grass. But what was interesting was that they didn't realise that I wasn't using static grass until they got about sort of 6 inches away from my grass. And then they realised it wasn't static grass, and then went, you should do, static grass is better, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, actually, this works for me. It gives me the effect that I want very quickly and easily. I'm not messing about with this extra tool, which can necessarily cost a lot of money. And it doesn't mean either of us is right or wrong. It just means we've got 2 different methods. And there were also other criteria at the time as well. Not least, time limit, very severe time limit. And I said to them that, sometimes as well you have to remember that when you're up against a severe time limit and you're basically modelling against the clock, you might use techniques that you wouldn't do at home. Where at home, you've got 48 hours to let something dry, to then do something else. And you can employ techniques that take a long, long time because you have that time. So, there's also, there's many different reasons why people might use the techniques they do. I know a lot of people, they're not into like modelling for the sake of modelling. What they actually want is a reasonable landscape through which they can run their trains and play trains. And that's great. They will use the technique that works for them to get them to that stage. That's why there's this whole market for, bog brush trees or, ready-made trees, fencing that just clips to your track. That's why there's a market for all this stuff, because some people just want to play trains. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right, let's have a look at... let's have a look. I'm going to scroll back up, actually. I've been wittering away for so long that actually... let's have a look. Yeah, Ben Davis, the Class 3 works great and I hope you get better. Yeah, I think that you have scored yourself a bargain there, Ben. Ham Shackleton, yes, Titanic sank and Dirk Pitt refloated it. Oh yeah, that awful film, Raise the Titanic. Yeah, after Bob Ballard finally found the Titanic, actually, that film came across as being a little bit stupid. Charles Curtis, hello Jenny and Zoe. Jenny, hope you're feeling better. Yeah, a lot better, thank you. Still not 100%, as you can probably hear, that I am absolutely tired out. I'm going to try and push on for a bit longer. But yeah, I'm a lot better than I was.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by how long you've managed to sit here.
30 minutes. I reckon 30 minutes to an hour. But
I think an hour you'll be flagging.
Definitely. I can feel it starting to...
Yeah.
But, these are my people. I knew they've missed me for 2 weeks.
I'm not saying it's bad for you to be. I'm just saying I'm actually amazed by how long you've managed to sit here so far.
How many people we got watching?
I can find out. Why don't you keep going with the chat and I'll find out.
Will do, yes.
Zoe, I like your Stella t-shirt. It's Guinness.
Guinness.
My grandmother gave me this in 1995. It was one of the early... No, I am not lifting my arms up because I know there's a hole under my arm.
Extra ventilation.
It was one of those things. If you had a Guinness on a certain day, they gave you one of these. I've got a... Where is it? It's down here. This is what they tend to give out these days.
Yeah. No, they don't. They charge you for them. Oh, you right. You just be the cat in the cat that shat in the hat in the corner there. There you go. Right, Train Sporting Southeast. It sounds like I did know about Flying Scotsman. I was footplate. Means when I left on Duchess, I just blown the whistle and blown steam over him. Okay, I was angry. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes my father used to get this with his miniature steam engine that he built from scratch himself, and people were like, "Oh, yes, that's wrong. This is wrong." And he used to get a little bit annoyed. It's like, I built the blooming thing. And when you'd push these people, say, "Oh, so what have you built?" No, I've not.
I haven't yet.
I haven't yet. Yes,
yet.
Yeah, we called them armchair critics. In Train Sporting Southeast, the injectors were not blocked, and I fixed them. Yeah, injected.
58 watching.
Oh, grand. Yeah, we used to get that as well with know-it-alls who knew nothing. Yeah, but injectors, we had a lot of issue with injectors. They don't work very well in model form because steam and water don't scale down at all. So getting the injector to work was a pain in the neck. We used to just use the water pump, and actually it was one of the things that you always made sure you had a very, very good water pump on a 1/3 scale traction engine, because if that works, you were grand. One of the things actually as well, top tip, is that my dad had a blowdown bypass valve on the line that went to the clacks into the boiler. So what you could do is you open the blowdown, which right by the clack into the boiler, and then you'd run the engine up. You'd rev it up with the water pump running, and you could see it try and pump, and it'd be like splurting air, and it would blow out any air blocks, and then it would be like a very, very good feed of cold water, cooled the pipe, shut the blow down, straight into the boiler, and you knew that it was working and that you were getting water into the boiler. No, I don't do hats. Let's have a look. What else we got? Leslie Gilpin. One of the most enthralling layouts I saw at an exhibition last month was 003 rail. Imagination helps lots. Yeah, I had so much fun with Hornby 003 rail as a kid. That's what I grew up with. And at some point you will see an interview that I did, which will go on manufacturer's YouTube channel. And I do talk about my childhood love of Hornby 00. Ham Shackleton, static grass is very messy to use. I understand there's a lot of wastage where you've got to kind of hoover all the excess off to get that really nice clean effect. So it is quite wasteful as well. You're absolutely right. James Petts, there are so many people who like railway modelling, each of whom enjoys a different aspect. Nothing that makes someone somewhere happy is entirely wrong. Totally agree with you, yeah. And, it's some people will love whittling their telegraph poles out of a fragment of a real telegraph pole, and they will whittle them down, and they will spend months and months building these tiny yet perfect things. That would bore me to tears, but I respect their right to enjoy doing that, and I would fight for their right to do that. And anybody who criticises them saying, "Oh, you can just buy those ready-made from Wills," it's like missing the point there.
As long as they're not there from a telegraph pole that's currently in use.
Well, no, it depends. Might have chipped. James Pett, something may not be entirely to one's taste, but that is another matter entirely. A child's train set is a splendid thing for the children who enjoy it. Yeah, and the dad. I've been in several clubs in 50 years of modelling. I always tell people it's your railroad, your world, your fantasy. No, it is not the way that I would do it, but have fun. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And I've got friends building model railways who are doing things in a way which, bring it up, go. Right.
Hello.
It's just me and thee now. They build things in a way which is like quite alien to me. And I've said to them, I personally do it like this. Have you tried this? And they went, oh no, I'm doing it my way. And they learn a lot from their mistakes, is all I will say. But they found a few different ways of doing things which I'd never considered, which did work. And actually, I've taken away a few things from that. I now use the Bachmann Scenics, the Woodland Scenics, risers and inclines, the flexible, like a polystyrene zigzag thing. I've shown them on some of the progress videos because I've used them as well. And I'd never really considered stuff like that before, and actually, they're really good. Cranky Chris, 59 people watching. Yay! Yeah, that was only because Game Hammer Classic Gaming logged in, which is actually Zoe. James Petts, there's a wonderful telegraph pole whittler on YouTube. The Yorkshire Dales Model Railway. Yes, I am a subscriber. I do watch those. It's a wonderful model railway. Really is. Such an attention to detail. And when you see it when he pans back, and it's just sort of in the V of his roof trusses. Although I do have to say, I do hope he's reinforced those roof trusses because they're not really designed to hold a lot of weight. And of course, he uses a lot of jab light and stuff too. So the scenery isn't actually very heavy that's in there. But where he's walking, you've got to remember, they're not really designed to take a huge amount of localised weight. So I'm sure he has. It's one of the things with the loft conversion you've really got to think about. Tony Britton, you should see some of my earlier attempts, but at the time I was very proud of them. Yeah, you and me both. My first proper scenic layout, I was very proud of it, and I look back now and it was junk by my current standards. But by the same token, there was a lot of things on there which I worked out how to do them right. I got very good very quickly at ballasting. I worked out how to do water effects. And I discovered that I really enjoyed building bridges. I paid a lot of attention to bridges, and I produced some great bridges even on that first layout. Some bits and pieces are still in use 3 layouts later up in the loft on Weir Yard. So, there are bits and pieces off that layout which do still exist. They've been recycled and recycled. Tony Britt, yeah, he's brilliant. Really good scenery. James Pett's there too. Splendid scenery. Yeah, he is very, very good. Train Sporting Southeast. Jenny, do one Great Model Railway Challenge episode coming. How many episodes is there? Now, I've been told that there are 8 episodes. It will follow the format, as far as I'm aware, as follows. Each episode is an hour and a quarter long, which equates to an hour of actual programme and quarter of an hour of ad breaks in there. So you've got 8 one-hour episodes, which break down as the first 5 episodes I would expect to see as being the first 5 heats. There's then 2 semi-finals, and then there's 1 final. And that gives the grand total of 8 episodes. And whilst, don't ask me when they're being transmitted, I don't know, they haven't told me any of this. But I believe that the final episode has to have been broadcast by the time Worley Model Railway exhibition comes round. That's the 23rd of November. Leslie Gilpin. With the model I'm about to start, because it's street running, I plan to build each block as individual modules using pavements to define the limits. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I've built a particular layout which will break cover later this year, where I've done just that. I've actually used the natural breaks in Metcalfe cobble sheets to enable to actually hide baseboard joins and make the baseboards able to split apart for transporting to exhibition without introducing any other problems. And it does mean that when you build these layouts, that you have a natural edge to work to, which makes it very, very easy to make these things in a very modular way. James Carroll. Good afternoon, Jenny. Good to see you back. Thank you. Good to see you along here too as well. And I've probably missed out all of the usual spiel that I always go through. Basically, you can catch up with the entire episode. It will go live on YouTube. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. I am actually really tired, and the other problem I do get is that I run a fever a lot at the moment. I'm on these really powerful drugs to combat the illness and the blood poisoning that I had, and the illness was making me run temperatures as well. But what I'm finding now is, rather than having these moments where I feel absolutely freezing and I feel like I'm shivering, now I just run permanently hot, so I feel constantly sticky and clammy and sweaty, and I'm waking up in the morning with like soaking the bed sheets with sweat. It's quite horrible, and you probably didn't need to know that, but I'll share it with you anyway. But it does mean I tire very quickly. David Campbell. The way I look at it, is, Jenny, is that it's your own creation from your own mind. Therefore, each model railway will be different. There is no wrong or right, personal choice and outlook only. Exactly. That is perfectly okay. Unfortunately, on the internet, you get a lot of trolls. And it's not just in railway modelling. It's all walks of life. My little nephew, he gets trolls as well. He does, like computing-related stuff. And unfortunately, the world has nasty pieces of work who basically the only way they can get a hard on is by trying to belittle and make other people feel worthless. And unfortunately, that's life. The internet has made these people able to sit in their parents' basement and fling poo at people across the world. But just don't feed the trolls. And I've kind of forgotten where I was going on that. But
I'll leave you for 5 minutes and you talk to people about throwing poo.
Yep, the Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout. My own layout has been rebuilt on a number of times, and it's true you learn by your mistakes with each iteration better than the last. Yeah, hello, definitely. Who's that on the phone?
My friend Medusa.
Oh, right. Everything going okay?
Yeah, he's seen how you were.
Oh, why was he watching the live stream?
No.
Oh, right. Did you say to him, you can see exactly how she is, you can tune into the live stream?
I did not, but he wanted to make sure you were okay.
And also remember, people, you can subscribe to the channel and share the channel too. Let other people know about this and spread the word. Let other people know that even with a major illness, I'm back and I'm modelling. Been up in the loft, made some more progress, and modelling is actually a very good therapeutic way of getting over quite a bad illness. You do things at your own pace. I'm well known for being the queen of speed modelling, but I haven't been that fast over the last week. Certainly, I only really got back in the last couple of days, dabbling, and I've not done a lot, but it's very good therapy. And don't push yourself too hard if you're coming back from an illness. Just, do things at your own pace. But you need to have something to focus your mind, because if all you're doing is watching daytime TV, you'll go insane. Oh, although there's no Jeremy Kyle now.
They're always YouTube.
Sean Sandyford, if you like watching crushes, watch NASCAR. I'd love to try and watch NASCAR. It's very difficult to get to watch in this country.
There's YouTube channels, though.
Alan Morgan, hope you are getting better. All the best. Oh, well, thank you very much. But also remember as well that, quite apart from, tell the world that I'm back, that I'm over my illness, that I'm bigger, badder, better, Jennier. And let's see how many more people we can get to join the Jenny Monday Club. We've got merchandise if you want your own mug. You too can join the Jenny Monday Club. I have no merchandise here to show you, but...
we didn't think this through, did we?
No, you didn't.
Sorry.
But also, if you want to support the channel, you're more than welcome to head on over to Patreon, and Super Chat is on the go as well. But I don't want to be like some of the other YouTubers who are like, gimme, gimme, gimme. It's, it's there, but don't feel obliged. Yeah. Train Sporting Southeast, doing work on the Class 33, about 2 months till cab panting. I'm assuming you mean painting comes around. Oh, how did the move go? When we last left you had a slow-moving convoy holding up traffic all the way up the M6.
I remember that.
Yes, you do. Dungerwood Model Railway. The being hot is your body trying to kill the bacteria. Yeah, I know. Glad to see you're okay to stream. Thank you. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to be calling off soon. I'm actually. It's horrible. I'm gonna have to go and have a cold shower.
Heat is radiating off her.
Is it? Is it really that bad?
It is that bad, yes.
Can you actually feel the heat?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm starting to overheat here. Railfan176, glad you're okay, and this topic is perfect for a live stream. James Pets, one gets a lot of trollish weirdness on RM Web in particular. Last year when I was planning my layouts, there were people who were demanding that I accept that it was a bad idea. Very odd. Yeah, I know. They're probably the same people who are spamming YouTube comments. They're just...
Just remember this.
Yeah.
Those that can, do. Those that can't, troll.
Yeah, and those that aren't very good at trolling do what?
Troll. Yeah. They troll as well.
Oh, was it? No, those that can do, those that can't criticise, and those that can't criticise.
Teach.
No, they go on the... No, I've got it. We'll get there in the end. Those that can do, those that can't criticise, and those that can't criticise go on the internet and write fake and gay in the comments to all videos. Right. Faya Olan, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Bye. It's been great having you along. Train Sporting Southeast, I'm glad making Great Model Railway Challenge 1 hour long, more content. There's still too much ads. Yeah, but the ads pay for everything. Yeah. You gotta give them give them a little bit of slack. I missed your first comment. Faye Olan, just a quick hello before I go to work. We'll watch the full video later. Glad to see you better, but you still don't look or sound 100%. Take care of yourself. Well, thank you very much.
It's going to be a while.
Lil Goth, as a bloke, I'm struggling not to make jokes about your hotness in front of your wife. Oh, don't worry about it. She's heard it all before.
So what's this about hotness?
Apparently I'm careful. I am very hot.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
I've already... You can't inflate her ego anymore. Let's put it that way.
Ham Shackleton, people using real desktop computers cannot access Super Chat. You have to be using an iPad, etc., or a paid-for Google account. Oh, I didn't know that, Ham Shackleton.
Yeah, you've got to have... The Super Chat only comes up if you've got an account that's got a payment system on it.
I didn't know that. To be honest, I don't care. I don't go trolling for money.
Yeah, that's not what we're about.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I've got a job. But, thank you very much. But, it's... It's nice to have some spends on trains.
Well, yeah, but even so.
Oh, if I could make it my career instead of having to go out and do the horrible day job, I would. Lil Goth, those that are bad trolls use Twitter. Yeah, don't they just? I haven't left Twitter. I do have a Twitter account, but I tend to. My frequency of my activity is very sporadic because I just get fed up of trolls.
I keep trying to get her interested in Twitter because I like Twitter. I talk to a lot of people on there. It's my main social network, but Jen doesn't like it.
Ben Davis, I do have fun with my layout because I got some Doctor Who minifigure and I've painted some horse into my My Little Pony character.
The Dalek approves of your Doctor Who.
But I don't care because, it is your. I have the Doctor knocking about. I also have the Munsters mansion on my layout, so,
Oh my goodness, the amount of time it took me to put that house together.
Yeah, it was a knock kit. We did a review of that, so it only seemed right that I then put it on my layout. And I just love the idea.
It was a great model, but oh my goodness, don't do it all at one day, and don't do it in a room that's not well ventilated. I had a headache for about 9 hours from that thing.
Railfan176. See, I was building a dockside scene with an ocean liner and people gave me crap. It was the Aquitania and Queen Mary instead of the Titanic. They insulted the trains I used and I ended up crying. No, never listen to the trolls. At the end of the day, they're looking for a reaction.
Yep.
And you may have sometimes seen trolls pop up and then mysteriously disappear from the live stream feed without me ever mentioning it. Well, the reason for this is because you just nuke the trolls. What they're looking for is some kind of validation of their sad, lonely existence by getting a rise out of you. So if you ignore them, then eventually they do go away. Stuart Muir, hi Jenny, I go by rule 1. It is your layout and you can run what you like. Totally agree with you. Train Sporting Southeast. Well, we arrived at 4 a.m. in the morning and unloaded at 6 and in shed by 10, so 9F nearly ready to steam. I'd love to come over and visit, actually. You'll have to put out an invite to me to come over and get access to the shed for that. That would be lovely.
Not that she's fishing.
No, well, oh, come on. What's the point in having a YouTube channel with lots of people if you can't fish for some Access All Areas tour of East Lancs Railway?
Absolutely fishing. Absolutely.
I don't know whether Les is still in here, but Les Cliff got me my last Access All Areas tour at the East Lancs. I'm going to have to go shortly. I'll be honest, I'm really flagging here, and it's becoming a real struggle just because of the illness. But I really do feel humbled by the outpouring of sympathy for me to get better on the comments to the videos and stuff. It's been hard work over the last week, what I can remember of it. It is always pretty scary to actually, in my case, drag yourself to the GPs for an emergency appointment and then find yourself being sent as a direct priority to hospital and then being in hospital for a couple of days. That is not a good experience in anybody's book, but, it's the great thing about the NHS, it has to be said, that it's there and it works. When you need it, it does deliver. So, yeah, really, I'm good that I'm back on the mend. Train Sporting Southeast. What I do is troll the trolls. Oh, you have to be very good at that. I get you invite for September, October. Boom! Yes, thank you very much for that. Leslie Gilpin, you're doing well, Les. Thank you. But I'm going to have to say goodbye and go. As you can probably tell, I'm starting to get a bit breathless and not in a good way.
There is one more thing, though. Where's the guy who's talking? Yeah, Railfan176 says he ended up building the same thing in Minecraft. We did a Minecraft railway, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Oh, and there's one final comment there I just need to read out. Tony Docks Station. If they're doing a layout as a replica of a specific location, then constructive criticism. Yep, that is the key. Constructive criticism. And it goes back to what I said earlier on, I suppose, is that you can always find the good in everybody's modelling. The hell was that?
That's someone with a really, really badly damaged car.
Well, they are now, yeah. Might have to have a look down the road. We've heard that noise before, and it doesn't look good down at the other end of the road. It's two cars gone at the T junction. Yeah, constructive criticism. You know, it's sometimes it's all right to say, well, you know, have you thought about doing this, or what about if you try this, or you trying to help rather, but not in a patronising way. But yeah, definitely that is definitely fine. If they are creating a fictitious area, not trying to be realistic, then do not criticise. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary there. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it too. And also subscribe to the channel and tell everybody you know about the channel. I have seen a few comments come up on the internet where people have been asking for advice, and I feel greatly humbled that people have actually been posting links to some of my YouTube how-to videos. Which it shows me that that people value my how-to videos is really good. But you probably hear that I'm on the verge of passing out now. So
come on,
look,
let's
thank you very much. Tell the world to come and subscribe to my channel. Let's see if we can make that 10,000 subs. I want to get to 100,000 because I want the plaque.
Yeah, but let's see if we can get to 10,000 first.
Anyway, look, you all take really good care of yourself. And this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now.
Bye, guys.